Hey everyone, Harry here. Wanted to do a build guide for the Winnebago of Death, as I like to call it. The ship is pretty expensive to build. It's probably going to set you back 800 or 900,000 credits when it's all said and done. Some of the parts require piloting for. Some of them require starship design for. You can build a comparable version without starship design for, but it's better if you have it. The engines in particular, these bad boys, they do require you to beat Walter's Constellation mission to have access to them. They don't require starship design or anything, but you do have to do his mission first. And it's kind of funny when you see what brand they are. Let's see, Habs. You can really use any brand you want. I'm going to go over the ones that I used. The only one that is truly important to the build, though, is a 2x2 battle station, which I'm using the Nova Galactic one. That's down below with the windows on it. And the reason for that is this cockpit only has 2 crew seats in it. So to get the max of 8 crew seats available, you need the battle station. And then because we're doing Class C stuff, our reactor shields and all the weapons on this will actually make sure that you have the 8 positions available, so the seats actually have something to do. I do have Payload 4 and Astrodynamics 4, so if you're feeling a little fuel starved with this build, might want to go ahead and add a couple fuel tanks to it. When you get up with the highest skill point, you really don't need 500 fuel. So that's kind of how mine's built right now. You can really easily remove these panels, or there's even some hull pieces that are inside that you could delete and add in more fuel tanks, so it doesn't mess with the looks that much. But yeah, so if you're feeling fuel starved, they're easy fix for that. We can build this ship with only 4 shipyard stops. 2 of them are in Seoul. One is New Homestead on Titan. The other one is the Deimos Star Yard, which is orbiting Mars. And then the other 2 are Tayo and Stroud, and they are both on Neon in the core. So not too bad. I'll show you a list of every part on the ship in just a second, but I kind of wanted to talk about how I found to be the easiest way to get all these pieces together. And that's just start out with pretty much any ship you want. And then I usually go to Teo first on Neon because I can get my reactor there. And then as you're adding pieces onto it, you might get errors that you don't have enough landing gear, and you can just throw random landing gears on it, throw random like structural components like hull pieces or habs, just to make sure you have enough connection points so you can get every piece that we want to keep on the ship all at one place, and then we'll go and delete the other ones later. So I'm going to pop up the list of every component, any requirements that those ones have, so you have an idea if you want to look for alternate pieces because you don't meet some of those requirements. And then from there, I'll leave it up for like 5-10 seconds so you can pause it, go get all your parts, and then come back and we'll go through actually putting all these pieces together. Alrighty, so here's the parts list to put our Winnebago of Death together. You got quantity, the part name, any requirements for each part, and the locations you can get them. And there are a lot of these parts that you can get at other locations, including your outpost. You can get a lot of spaceship components there if you build one of the landing pads, one of the big ones. But the Cabot C4 bridge, we have to get at New Homestead. The Nova Galactic Battle Station has to be from New Homestead. The Stroud all-in-one berth, the 3x1, we have to get it neon. So I'm going to leave this up, and basically you're going to add all of these to a ship, and probably Frankenstein it together to start with, just to get it where we have it all in one place. And once you have all those, I will see you back in the shipbuilding screen, and we'll walk through actually putting them all together. Hole behind it. And the reason for that is the wide landing gears don't have front or rear connection points, so it won't snap into place. So we use these Demos Wings A because we can connect them to that piece on the back, and now that landing gear will connect. So that's the bottom of it. I put the skeg under here in the back, so it's connected to that whole piece and then another whole piece there. And you can see I got 2 landing gears back there. We'll move those in a little to, well, connect. So from there, I like to slap my workshop, that way both of the ladders up from either the docking collar or the landing bay both drop me in my workshop. And then in front of that I connect my battle stations, and then to the side of the battle stations we connect our infirmary. That way you've got crafting stations right here on this main floor. Then from there, this storeroom we snap behind the workshop, and that's because above the storeroom and workshop we're going to connect our 3x1 Stroud all one, and then above that connect our captain's quarters above the battle stations, and then we throw that living quarters there. So now we can take this cockpit, snap it right there in the front. Just kind of starting to see the build coming together a little bit. In this gap right here behind the 3x1 and the 1x1, I like to put my reactor, just because she's a real beauty. And then, let's see, so yeah, then you'd connect your skeg to that landing gear that's being held there by wings. Pop a Demos hole behind it. To the right side of it, I connect 2 storage units. You can kind of see how, like, these engines have 2 connection points, but you just want to connect it to the lower one. And then I take my jump drive and set it on the other side across from them, connect the other engine to it, put some side ports on it. And then for the other 2 engines, we snap these wings straight in there, connect them to that front part of the workshop. Then I use that Stroud cowling, connects to it, landing gear beneath it, engine connects up there, slap a radiator on top so it looks cool, and that nice sexy braking engine. And then this is where I throw one of my thruster arrays, just because this is a connection point. And then you rinse and repeat on the other side. Just click the right parts. Quality entertainment here. Alright, and then above those two engine bracers is where I put the other two S204 cargo bolts. And then I like to slap caps on the end of them. So then that big gap behind those is where we put the two fuel tanks. And then right behind those fuel tanks, we take our Nova cowling to LSF. We pop both of them above those wings. So now we got the back end starting to come together. On the back of this whole structure, I put the 10 ST hauler shielded cargo hold. Then I put the Stroud cap over it and that whole piece, so it covers them both and gives it a nice finished look. And we can pop our other two rear engines on top of those. So we're sitting like that. And then in front of those engines, we put those Nova cowling 1L TFs. I have my guns all connected to it. That's the back end of the ship. And then in the very front, in front of our landing bay, I pop this landing gear. Then I use these horizontal weapon mounts. I usually use two big guns just because it gives you more cover. And then that's also, you can see right there, multi-frequency scan jammers snuck in on the top. And then I slip these cowling pieces back there by the braking engines and a window in front of it on each side. And then above those portholes, I put another set of the thruster arrays. And then behind those thruster arrays, we mount our Demos Wing E and weapons on those too. You have a lot of spots for weapons, so you can move them around. And then we pop our Demos Spine A fore and aft and a Nova radiator over on top of the hab and that cargo unit. Do the same over here. And then right in the front, I like to put my shield generator, my SG 1800. You can actually see it through the windows of the cockpit if you stand up there and turn around and look up. And then the mid spine that goes behind it is a Demos Spine A Demos radiator, a Demos Spine C 4. I believe I have mine flipped around backwards. And then a Demos E spine. That goes right down the middle behind it. And then I like to put these alpha beams, non-turreted ones. I like to put them up in that area because then they actually still have a clear line of sight to the front. So if it doesn't bother you if your weapons are firing through ship geometry, you can put them all over the place. Like we've got each one of these spines has a weapon mount on it, so you can put weapons up there. This one's got 3 on it. This one has another one. There's weapon mount here. You can actually, with these side covers, if you Arrow Rider left, there is a version of them that has a weapon mount. So like, you've got weapon mounting points all over the ship if you don't like the layout that I. But that is the construction of the ship. We will go in and see if it screwed up the ladder or added a ladder or not, because it is a little finicky on that. So we will go inside the ship and see how it turned out. Alrighty, so let's stop and see how the ship is. So yeah, you can see the shield generator right up there. So just gonna do a quick run through here and make sure it didn't pop any ladders where I don't want them. If it does give you ladders where you don't want them, you can move like habs around, maybe take some side panels off and stick it so all the habs are on one level, and then piece them back. You can play around with it and make them go away. But
thanks for stopping to chat.
This particular setup, I've had pretty good luck with it not giving me a random.
I'm glad to see you.
So yep, we got a interior that's completely laddered into this. We have enough beds to make sense for a crew. We got a storeroom to fill up with succulents or other random garbage. And your 2 entry and access points come up into your workshop and then have a straight run up to the cockpit. Also, for everybody, a little side note. Here's your captain's locker in the cockpit. Here's your cargo hold. And then your armillary, or whatever the hell it's called. It's right there. So they're all over in that corner of it. As you can see, that's our ship. I hope you enjoy it, and go kick some ass and take some names.